Hello, fabulous Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the year of 2015, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Right out of the gate, I want to say that of all the love horoscopes that I've been doing so far over the course of this series, this is by far one of the easiest to look at. The symbols are just so clear that it is the easiest to actually talk about when it comes to a year ahead prediction for any given sign. And that really is because of Venus moving through your opposite sign. Now, once every year and a half or so, Venus likes to go retro, so as I like to call it. And what that means is once every year and a half or so, Venus likes to travel backwards in the sky for a few weeks. This year, we are going to have Venus enter shadow in June and go retrograde in July through August, and then go direct in September and leave shadow in October. So that really is the entire summer and the early part of the fall, where love and relationships are going to come into very powerful focus for you. There are going to be changes and there is going to be activity for every Aquarian out there. I'm going to go so far as to say every Aquarian out there is going to be experiencing some action, some developments, some progress where it comes to the realm of love. Those of you who are in an established bond, this is looking at the commitment that you do have with this person. Is this somebody that you're already married to? If this is someone you consider your partner but are not officially married to, you'll be thinking, is it a good idea? Isn't it? But more than that, you'll be thinking, does this person really reflect me? Does this person match what I believe a partnership is? And this is a chance for you to see your partner from a different lens as well. Those of you who are dating somebody, this idea of wanting commitment is going to come up for you. And those of you who are open to meeting somebody new, I mean, Venus retrograde in your opposite sign there is going to be at least one person. It's pretty clear. That's a very clear omen that at least one person is going to come into the picture. Now, here's the thing with Venus retrograde in your opposite sign. A few things I want to point out. First is decisions made under a Venus retrograde usually don't last. Okay, so it's like more information needs to come out, more feelings need to be admitted to. There's a component maybe that you aren't looking at, aren't acknowledging fully. So I would strongly advise you also that because the energy is very changeable with this, whether you are interested in meeting somebody new or not, just know that especially where it comes to breaking up during a Venus retrograde, people don't usually stay broken up. That's the thing, because usually it's something will happen that will trigger the breakup, and then it's like, okay, more information comes in. And the information that does come in might not actually be so accurate, and then you're sort of on this journey to figure out a more balanced perspective and a balanced answer. If you meet somebody new, if that is your circumstance and you meet somebody new, just know that you might not see the whole picture here. You might not be getting a clear picture here. And so that doesn't mean necessarily that there is some deception taking place or that the person is consciously not being honest. It might not be that at all. It might just be where you are, that you need to see certain parts of you in a relationship, so are not seeing this other person very clearly and very accurately as well. It also doesn't mean that if you meet somebody during a Venus retrograde, you may actually, it doesn't necessarily mean that this person won't end up being that proverbial one that ends up hanging out with you for the rest of this life. It's certainly possible, but just know that the immediate impressions, what you think that you're getting, might not actually be the fullness of who this person is. Now that tends to usually be so, but this becomes especially magnified under a Venus retrograde. And it is not uncommon for people to get involved in like whirlwind romances or very passionate exchanges, meet somebody and be completely swept off their feet, only to realize that you can't actually stay in that elevated state without also considering matters a little bit closer to the ground, a little bit closer to the earth. I want to say this as well. Classically speaking, I mean, any astrologer out there will tell you that really, traditionally, classically speaking, if you are looking to make an official commitment like a marriage or even just exchanging vows, Venus retrograde is not a good time to do that. Unless it is said that unless you are marrying the same person for a second time or a third time, depending on your circumstance, if it is a new person that you are looking to make a new commitment with, Venus retrograde, not the best time to do that. You want a strong Venus when you do something like get married or exchange vows. And, you know, for the other signs, I've been saying this as well because this is pretty general for Venus retrograde. This is general advice. But for you, I have to be honest with you. I mean, if you were standing in front of me, if you were my client or my friend or my family, and you are in front of me, I would say to you, do not get married this summer. Don't do that. If you want, you can get married earlier in the year. I personally think that if you want to get married, if you're with somebody that you really love and you realize, oh, I love this person so much, I want to be with them, that's awesome, okay? You may want to marry them earlier in the year, okay? A spring wedding is always nice. I would also say later in the year, in the later part of the year, once we get you to mid-October forward, also a better time. But really, when you have Venus retrograding in your opposite sign, for so many reasons, it just ends up being a symbol of, I mean, ultimately it comes down to this. You want a strong Venus, you want a Venus going forward. If you've been with the person for a while now, you believe you know what you're getting, I would say to you, wait until after the whole cycle of Venus in shadow is over, because if that bond is there, it will remain there. If you are somebody who is dating someone as well, this is going to be your chance to really understand who this person is and what it will be like to be married to this person, what it will be like to share that depth of commitment with this person. And I think it actually may end up surprising you that there are other levels that you hadn't anticipated. And there's also an element here of you needing to work out just what does that mean to you? Marriage or commitment? Do you want it to be a legal thing? Do you want a prenuptial agreement? These types of considerations are going to have to come up during the retrograde cycle. And those of you who are open to meeting somebody new, as I said, whirlwind romances can happen under this vibe. And I would say to you again, you meet somebody, they're completely awesome. A week in, you know that this is it for you. That's awesome. But allow it to reveal itself even more in time. If it's love, it waits. If it's love, it will be there a month later. And there may be a feeling that, yeah, I want to do it. I want to get caught up in this. I feel so carried away. This is the one. And I do see like sort of having these sort of sudden eloping elements for some Aquarians out there, which might be a little bit thrilling as well. Now, look, if it's a situation that really can't be helped, then trust the omens. They are what it is that they need to be to help you move in the direction that you need to go to fulfill your karmic contracts, to learn what it is that your soul desires to learn. So that's fine. If something like that comes up, you really can't help it, then that is how it is. I know that in some cultures out there, in some families out there, you really cannot have a baby unless you're married. And so if you find yourself in a situation where you are going to have a baby and you want to have a baby, but you know you got to get married to do that, well, then that's how it is. That's the case. However, if it is just a matter of a deposit that you don't know you'll get back, don't get married. And that love will still be there. That love will still be there. And what's really amazing is that if you do wait, and I'm not one to say this, I think this is the first time I've said this. I've been making these videos for a few years now, and I think this is the first time I've ever been so adamant about it and shared this with people. But really, if you wait until a little bit longer, if you wait towards the end of the year, once Jupiter starts speaking in harmony with Pluto, I do think that that is the chance to have the type of marriage that builds in trust and that also builds in wealth as well. That is a chance. If you are a person who's like, yeah, I've been with this person for a while, we think we're going to get married this year, but we're not really sure, I would say later part of the year, okay, towards the end of the year, because people getting married around that time, all else being equal, because you also want to have a strong moon, but that really comes down to what's called electional astrology, having an astrologer choose the perfect dates and times for whatever it is that you desire to do. However, if you wait until a little bit later this year, marriages that take place at that time, commitments made at that time, are likely to bring with them a lot of prosperity as well. Prosperity that grows and is stable, and also real wealth may result as well as a result of that union. So the sky is just really supporting a depth of connection and just a much stronger space to be in, a much stronger space celestially that you want to be in when you are beginning this new life, really a new married life with a person. Having said all that, all else being equal, I know not everybody out there is looking to get married. Either you already are, or that's really not on your radar. This is Aquarian energy after all. Aquarians are happy either way. They're very happy to be on their own. They're very happy to be in a connection as well. All else being equal, of course. If you have other things in your chart that speak otherwise, then that's going to be something that's there. But for the most part, Aquarian energy has a strong sense of self. And ultimately, you know the answers that are right for you and what it is that you're meant to do. And so stay connected to that above and beyond all things. Stay connected to that. One thing that I love about this year is that there is the promise of love. Love is on offer. That is without a doubt. Even those fiercely independent, almost allergic to relationship types of Aquarians might surprise themselves now by how open they are to experiencing a more significant love, and that makes it that much more available to them. Regardless of your relationship status as you start the year, it is going to be this summer where you are either fine-tuning your relationship, getting honest about the relationship, what you like, what you don't like, but also what you absolutely think is fabulous as well will come to the surface. You are going to have experiences that show you exactly who this person is. And those of you who are currently not with somebody in your realm, not in your relationship, not on your radar, I definitely think that there is going to be somebody that shows up that helps you learn all of this. And as I said, that doesn't mean, just because Venus is retrograding, doesn't mean that that love will not last. It absolutely can. But just know that there's an aspect playing out here that is saying, pace yourself. The sky is saying to you, be honest with yourself, embrace the experience, but know that people are complex. Can you really love all of who this person is to the best of your ability and to the best that you know? That is going to be one of the guiding questions for you now. Do I genuinely love this person? What is leading me towards this person? When you find answers that sit well with you, then it is those very answers and the actions that they ask you to make that will certainly lead you on a road towards greater love and greater learning in the context of love, but certainly greater love, a closer love, and a more romantic love at that.